I hear the same thing from almost every buyer I talk to who's moving to Florida. No state income tax, it's going to be so much cheaper than where I'm living now. And I have to tell them the truth. Florida is not cheap, it's different. And if you don't understand the difference before you move here, it will cost you, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars in the first year alone. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what it actually costs to live here in 2026. The insurance, the taxes, the HOA fees, the stuff nobody puts in the relocation brochure. Because the buyers who are actually happiest after their move are the ones who came in with clear eyes. This video is how you do that. Let's start with the thing that pulls most buyers to Florida in the first place. No state income tax. That is real. It is a real benefit. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. But here's what that marketing never includes in the same sentence. Here's what most people don't realize. Florida has some of the highest property insurance costs in the country. It has one of the most complex flood zone systems in the country. It has an HOA culture that is unlike anything most out-of-state buyers have experienced. And it has a property tax structure that looks simple on paper, but has a major catch for new buyers that often comes as a genuine shock. So let's go through it, one category at a time, real numbers, real context, no fluff. Cost number one, homeowner's insurance. This is the one that surprises buyers the most. Back in the Midwest or Northeast, you might be used to paying $1,200 or $1,800 a year for homeowner's insurance on a typical home. In Tampa Bay, that same coverage can run you $4,000 to $8,000, and for homes near the water, I've seen quotes come in above $10,000. Why so high? Hurricanes, wind exposure. The reinsurance market in Florida has been under enormous pressure for several years now. Several major carriers have pulled out of the state entirely. The ones that remain are pricing for risk. This is where it gets tricky. Your lender will require insurance before they close your loan. If you haven't budgeted for what insurance actually costs here, you can find yourself completely repricing what you can afford, sometimes weeks before closing. I've watched that happen. It's avoidable. You just have to know to ask the question early. Cost number two, flood insurance. Separate from homeowner's insurance, completely separate policy, and depending on your flood zone, it may be required by your lender or it may be optional, but would be financially reckless to skip. Flood zone designations matter enormously here. Two homes on the same block can have different flood zone classifications, which means very different insurance requirements and very different annual costs. FEMA's flood maps are public. I look at them for every single property I evaluate with a buyer. Basic coverage from the National Flood Insurance Program currently runs around $700 to $2,000 a year for a typical home. But higher value homes, older homes, or homes in higher risk zones often need private flood insurance, and that can run significantly more. And this is the part that surprises buyers. Even homes that have never flooded can be in a flood zone. The zone is about elevation and proximity to water, not history. Don't buy in Tampa Bay without knowing your flood zone first. Cost number three, property taxes and the homestead exemption trap. Florida's property tax rate is actually pretty reasonable compared to a lot of states. But here's what catches out-of-state buyers off guard every single time. When you buy a home, your taxable value resets to the purchase price. The previous owner may have had years of Save Our Homes protection, a Florida law that caps how much assessed value can increase per year for homestead owners. When they sell, that protection goes away for you. You're starting fresh. What that means in practice, you might buy a home where the seller is paying $4,500 a year in property taxes. Your first year tax bill becomes $7,200. That's not a mistake. That's the system working exactly as it was designed. I show every buyer I work with what their likely property tax bill will be, not what the current owner is paying. Cost number four, HOA fees and what's changed since 2024. If you're buying a condo or a home in a planned community, HOA fees are a part of your monthly budget. And in Florida, they've changed significantly in the last 2 years. After the Surfside collapse in 2021, Florida passed new legislation requiring condo associations to complete structural reserve studies and fully fund reserves by 2025. What that means for buyers, HOA fees in many condo buildings have jumped dramatically. Some have doubled, some buildings have issued special assessments on top of that. Single-family HOA communities are genuinely lower. often $100 to $400 a month for standard neighborhoods in Clearwater, Dunedin, or the surrounding areas. But in gated communities, waterfront neighborhoods, or luxury developments, those fees can be much higher. The rule I give every buyer: budget your HOA fee the same way you budget your mortgage payment. It's not optional, it doesn't go away, and it can change. Let me pull this together into a real number you can actually work with. A buyer purchasing a $550,000 single-family home in a typical Clearwater or Dunedin neighborhood, not waterfront, not in a flood zone, standard HOA, is looking at roughly this on top of their mortgage payment. Homeowner's insurance, $400 to $550 a month. Flood insurance, $750 to $150 a month if required. Property taxes, reset, $550 to $650 a month. HOA fees of $150 to $350. Total monthly add-on, $1,175 to $1,700 on top of your mortgage. I want to be clear, these are estimates, not exact quotes. Your actual costs depend on the specific property, the flood zone, the HOA, and what the insurance market looks like when you're buying. But this range gives you a real working number, not a number a relocation website made up. And I'll say it plainly, this does not make Florida a bad place to move. It makes it a place you need to understand before you move. The buyers I work with who have the best experience are the ones who ran the real numbers ahead of time, budgeted correctly, and chose the right property for their situation. Here's what most people don't realize. The no income tax benefit is real. And for a lot of buyers, especially higher earners, it genuinely offsets a significant portion of these costs. The math can absolutely work. It just requires doing the actual math, not the brochure math. If you're working through the numbers for your own move, or you want to run them against a specific area or price range, that's exactly what I do on a strategy call. The link is in the description. You can grab a time directly through my link tree. No sales pitch, just the actual numbers for your situation. I want to add one more layer to this because not all of Tampa Bay is the same, and where you buy matters a lot for two of these four cost categories. Insurance, coastal versus inland. A home in Clearwater Beach, directly on the water in a high-risk wind zone, you're going to pay significantly more for insurance than a home 5 miles inland in a neighborhood like Safety Harbor or East Dunedin. The premiums aren't just slightly different, they can be double or triple for comparable home values. This is one of the biggest reasons some buyers who fall in love with the idea of waterfront living end up purchasing inland. It's not that the beach isn't beautiful, it's that the true all-in monthly cost is dramatically different, and it changes what you can actually afford. HOA, condo versus single family. If you're looking at condos, I would strongly encourage you to look at the specific HOA financials before you get emotionally attached to a unit. After the new Florida condo reserve requirements, a lot of buildings are in the middle of significant adjustments. Some are in great shape, some are not. Single-family homes with HOAs give you more control over your individual situation. The fees are generally lower, and you're not as exposed to the financial condition of a shared building. Neither is wrong, they're just different risk profiles. And understanding that difference before you start touring homes will save you a lot of frustration. So, can you afford to move to Tampa Bay? Honestly, probably yes, but not for the reasons most people assume, and not without running the real numbers first. The buyers I love working with the most are the ones who watch a video like this, get a clear picture of what they're actually budgeting for, and then come to a call ready to look at a specific property with real eyes. Those buyers make better decisions, they're happier after they close, and they don't end up with surprises that could have been avoided. If you're thinking about making a move to Florida and you want to work through what the actual numbers look like for your situation, specific area, specific price ranges, I'm happy to do that with you. That's what the strategy call is for. You can book it through the Linktree link in the description. If this was useful, subscribe. I put out real content for real buyers every week. No hype, no fluff, just what you actually need to know before you make one of the biggest financial decisions of your life. I'll see you in the next one.